Right, good morning all. Thanks for joining us this morning to take a look at the latest version of NAV. My name's Adam. I'm part of the account management team here at Metaphorix. I think I may have met some of you in the past. If not, hello, good to speak to you. I'm joined here by James Sharp, who's one of our consultants. He's going to take you through the demonstration this morning. Just a bit of housekeeping before we kick off. I assume you can all hear me clearly. Good. So just to let you know, this session is being recorded, as you know, and will be available to view in the not too distant future. Hopefully should be live on the website in the next couple of days. I'll email you all a link. So just a quick agenda for this morning's session. It's really going to be quite a functional hands-on session. You may have seen a couple of weeks ago, my colleague Craig Buck, he hosted a webinar which focused more around the benefits and the strategical ideas behind upgrading. That's live on our website at the moment, so you can go and check that out later on if you wish. It leads quite nicely into this NAV 2018 demo. Speaking of which, I'll hand you over to James in just a second. He's going to take you through an overview of the functionality that's new in NAV 2018. From that, we're going to dive into each bit of functionality in depth, have a quick run through, show you what it looks like, how it works. Then we're going to touch on some of the additional functions that we don't really have time to cover in this session, although some of those will be covered in later webinars throughout the year. And then at the end, we're going to have some time for questions, although I appreciate that you don't all want to be sat here for too long. So if you think you have a question which might require a bit more of an in-depth answer, I'm going to put my details up on the screen, so you can drop me an email or give me a call later on and we can discuss any questions you might have. So without further ado, I'll pass you over to James and we'll get kicked off.
Hello everyone, I'm James from Metaphorix. I'm one of the consultants, and today I'm going to be taking you through the new functionality of NAV 2018. So everything that we cover today isn't available in NAV 2017, and it's just been added this year for the new version. So the things that we'll be covering in this session include setup and extensions, the image analyzer, employee ledger entries, user tasks, creating purchase documents from sales documents, suggesting accounts in the general posting setup, and some other functionality briefly at the end. So the first thing that I wanted to go through is setup and extensions. So now only one place is needed to set up the system, and it's broken down into the following sections. We've got assisted setup, manual setup, service connections, and extensions. If we go over to Navision, I'll show you how that page looks. So if we go to setup and extensions, this is the new page that I just mentioned, and on the left these are the four categories that I was just talking about. So assisted setup is where all the commonly used setup can be found that has a wizard. Manual setup is where all the detailed setup pages can be found, and they're broken down into categories. So we've got general, finance, sales, purchasing, and so on and so forth. The third category of the setup and extensions setup is service connections. So service connections is for OCR, CRM, SMTP, things like that. They can all be found in here in the service connections list. And we've got a status here, enabled or disabled. So enabled is in green, disabled is in black. Extensions is the last part of the setup and extensions page, and it lists the extensions. So extensions enable changes to be made without directly altering the source code. So it's essentially for extending outside of the core. Next thing I wanted to cover is the image analyzer, probably the most interesting feature of NAV 2018. And what it can do is it can actually scan images added to contacts and items. So let's say you had a contact and you had a picture of somebody's face. You can add that picture of somebody's face to that contact. NAV will scan that image and can say their gender and age. Also, you'd be able to add a image to an item. For example, if you had a picture of a red bike, you could import the red bike to the item. The analyzer will be able to scan that image and assign attributes. So how it works is the analyzer has a confidence percentage about each item attribute. Any attributes the system is above 80% confident about, it will present to the user. Any attributes the system is less than 80% confident about can still be viewed and can still be assigned, but aren't presented to the user by default. Just show you now how that works. So if we go to NAV, I'll show you how to add a image to a contact first and use the analyzer. So if we go to a contact and we create a new contact, say Dan Davis, and we'll say this is a person. Just full screen that. Okay, so now we've added a name and we've added a contact type, we can import an image. So if we press import, we'll be able to select the image that I've got on my desktop. Once that pulls through, now I'm scanning that image, and if we open the profile questionnaire, we can see now that it's got a detected age and a detected gender. So that pulls through from the image. So we can see that it said male and 31. If we were to add a different image of somebody else, now we'll scan that image and would be able to detect differently. I'll show you now how the image analyzer works with items, because with items it works slightly differently. On contact, it just adds the attributes for you, whereas on items it uses the confidence percentage, which is what I just mentioned on the PowerPoint. So if we edit our bicycle, and this item's already been set up, so we can just import an image straight away. I've got an image of a red bicycle on the desktop, so select that, press open, and now it's just scanning that image now in the background. And here we go, we've got this new window here called Image Analyzer Attributes. And what the Image Analyzer has done is it's scanned that image, detected attributes, and then presented them to the user. Well, I say presented them to the user, it's presented the attributes it's above 80% confident about. So we can see here we've got red, it's above 80%, transport above 85%, and bicycle above 99%. And what it's done by default is it said the action to perform for all those attributes is user's attribute. If we didn't want to use one of these attributes, for example, then we could just choose to ignore them. But I'm quite happy with those. It is red, it is transport, it is a bicycle, quite happy with those. So we want to get those added in. So I'm going to leave the action to perform as user's attribute. What you can do, which I mentioned on the PowerPoint, is view all the other attributes. So the attributes that the system is less than 80% confident about. If we click on view all attributes, we can see the other attributes, or the attribute in this case, which is wheel. So the system's above 25% confident, so it hasn't shown it by default, and the default action to perform for that is ignore. We don't want to add that, so we're going to leave that as ignore. In fact, we'll just hide those completely. And those three that it is above 80% confident about, we're going to leave that as user's attribute and just press OK. When we press OK, the image of our red bicycle is going to be added to the item, and our three attributes that we just saw have been added to the item attribute fact box. So as you can see, it works slightly differently on the contacts as it does the items, but the principle is the same. You just import the image, and without having to do anything, now we'll scan that image and you can assign attributes. The next thing I wanted to cover is the employee ledger entries. So NAV 2018 comes with out-of-the-box integration with two payroll systems. So a general journal can be used to post directly to an employee instead, or if it was integrated to a payroll system, it would just be pulled in automatically. So it's up to you. If it's integrated, it will just pull it in, or just post directly with the journal. So the real advantages of this are that employees no longer need to be set up as vendors, and that's a big advantage really in NAV 2018 to businesses, that they no longer have to do this. And also, payroll data can be hidden with permissions. So if you were concerned about people seeing ledger entries against an employee, then you could just hide that. So you don't have to worry about that from a security point of view or data protection point of view. If you don't want people to see that information, then you can just hide it. Not having to set up employees as vendors is a really useful thing of NAV 2018. And if we go back to Navision, I'll show you how that works. So if we go to employees, so we selected Richard here, and then at the top we've got this new button here called ledger entries. And when we click that, it will take us to this window, which will show all the ledger entries against that employee. And as you can see, I've already posted a few. So I've got salary, salary 2, and salary 3. Probably give them a more appropriate name than that, but this is just for an example, so that's what they're called here. And if this was integrated to a payroll system, this list is where it would all be pulled into. But in this example, it's not integrated, and we just post into it directly. So I'll show you now how we post to that. So as I said, it's with a general journal. So to do that, we go to general journal, select and edit our general journal, and then we'll select our account type. So we're going to change this from GL. We're going to select employee. So that employee option, this is new. This is what's new in NAV 2018. And once that's selected, you can then tab across, and the account number drop down will then present the employees. So it's Richard that we're going to post to, and we're going to select Richard. We'll tab across, it'll put his name in the description. We'll just put salary for, and we'll just say this is for £1,000. If we press post on that and then yes, it will say the journal lines were successfully posted. If we press OK, close this down, and then go back to our employees. We're going to look at Richard's ledger entries. Here we can see our new ledger entry, which we've just posted. So we could have posted it for a different amount, we could have given it a different name, but that's what we put. We put salary for, we put £1,000, and that's where it is against the employee. And as I said, if that was something you didn't want people to see, then you can just hide that with permissions. But yeah, really useful just to be able to post directly to an employee like that. Next new thing in NAV 2018 is user tasks. So user tasks, another really useful feature which users can use to assign tasks to themselves or to other users. I think normally users are going to assign user tasks to other people to ask them to do things or to remind them to do things. But in the example that we'll do now, I'm just going to send a user task to myself just so we can see how it comes through. The user tasks can be linked to a page. So let's say you wanted someone to add some items. You could link that task to the items page and it would just take them straight there. If you wanted them to do something a bit more elaborate or complex, then it's even more useful because instead of them having to wonder where in the system they need to do it, you can just point them in the right direction. Once you assign a user task to someone, the pending user tasks for that user are visible in the role center. So there's a new tile called pending user tasks, and if you've got a user task pending, it will say 1 or 2 or 3 or however many tasks you have. So I'll just show you now how that all looks and works. And we'll go back to NAV. Right, so if we go down in our role center, we'll see this is the new tile that I just mentioned. This is pending user task. And at the moment it says 0 because we don't have any. So what we're going to do is we're going to add one. To add a new user task, we go to user tasks. And we press new. So the subject for this will be add items, and also task description, add items before the end of the week. So the user created by is this user, which is the user I'm logged in as at the moment, and the date and time there is the date and time it is right now. The status fast tab allows you to assign the task to a user. So this is where you'd assign it to another user if that was what you wanted to do. In this example, we're just going to say we're going to assign it to me. That's the user I'm logged in as. We're just going to send it to myself just so we can see how it comes through. But if you were assigning a user task to another person, that's where you'd pick them. So the due date, so I've said before the end of the week, so we'll just put the 11th, which is the end of the week. And we'll say that it's 10% completed because we've added some of these items. So the start date will be today, automatically populated, and we'll set it to high priority. We really need to get these added as soon as possible. So then we can link the task to a page. So we're going to link this to the items page because it's items that need to be added. So we'll link to page, and then we'll have a list of the pages and we'll pick the item list. So what we've done is we've linked this task to the item list. So the user who's got to add the items knows where they need to go to do it. If we wanted to mark the task as completed, we'd click mark completed. And if we wanted to set it to recur, we click recurrent. But this is just a one-off task that hasn't been finished. So we'll just press OK. So there we can see in user tasks now, we've got one user task. It's add items, the due date's the end of the week, high priority, 10% completed, and that's the user it's been assigned to. So if we go to home now and go back to our pending user tasks tile, we'll see a 1 because we've got one pending user task that needs to be done. And this is how users who have been assigned tasks will see them. So if we click 1, we can see our user task, and we've got subject add items. If we want to see a bit more detail, we can click view, say, right, okay, add items before the end of the week. And then what we can do when we've received this task is we can go to task item, and that will take us to the link that we've made to that task. So we linked it to the items page, which is where it's taken us to now. So we'll added our items, let's say, just pretend we've added those in, and then what we can do is we can mark it as completed. So when we created this task, we said it was 10% completed, but if you just keep an eye on that percentage now, when we mark complete, we can see now that it's changed to 100% complete. It's completed, it's done, it's finished, so it's 100% completed. And when we press close, the pending user tasks list is empty, and because the pending user tasks empty, then if you just saw that there, but the tile has just changed from 1 to 0 because we don't have any pending user tasks left. So really good, useful feature if you want to ask people to do things or remind them to do things or even remind yourself to do something, and you can link that to a page and say what percent completed it is and give it a due date. Another thing that I wanted to cover briefly is the pre-configured Excel reports, which are now available in NAV 2018. They're available in the Business Manager and Accountant role center. So they include balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, retained earnings statement, trial balance, aged accounts payable, and aged accounts receivable. They're just available in the ribbon. I'll just show you now exactly where to find them by switching back to Navision. And so we're in as a business manager. It's business manager or accountant. So we're in as business manager, so we've got access to them. And if you just look along the ribbon, we've got a report section, and in there's Excel reports. If we click that down arrow, there we'll see the reports that I just mentioned. So you can access them from there. Really easy, just grab them from the role center. The next thing I wanted to cover is the ability to create purchase documents from sales documents. NAV 2018 allows users to create purchase documents from sales documents, which would be useful if, say, you was going to go out of stock. So if you're about to sell something, if you're about to sell 10 items and then you realize that actually you've only got 11 in stock, what you can do is you can buy some more in, and before you sell that stock, you can buy some more, and then you won't have as few left afterwards as you would. If we go back to Navision, what we're going to do is we're going to sell some bicycles. So to do that, we'll go to sales orders. So we'll press new because we want to create a new sales order. And we'll tab down to get our number series, and we will pick our vendor. So like I said, we're going to sell some bicycles. So the type will be item and the number will be bicycle. So sell them from the yellow location. These are very expensive bicycles, and we are going to sell, we'll sell 20. So what we'll do now is before we sell these, out of curiosity, we're going to see how many we're actually going to have left in stock after we sell them. So to do that, we'll go to line, item availability by location, and we'll see how many we're going to have left. So if we look at the yellow location, the yellow warehouse, we see that the inventory is 25, the gross requirement is 20, which is the amount on the sales order. So the projected balance afterwards will be 5. And let's say we don't only want to have 5 left in stock because that's not enough. What we can do before we sell these, we can buy some more in. I'll show you now how we do that. So in NAV 2018, we have this new button in the Actions ribbon called Create Purchase Documents. So this is what's new, and you can create purchase orders or you can create purchase invoices. We're going to create a purchase order, so we're going to buy some more bicycles in. We don't just want to have 5 left in stock after we've sold those because that's not enough. We want to get some more in. And what NAV's going to do when it loads up is it's going to allow us to choose a vendor and a quantity. So we can see here that the sales order is for a bicycle and it's for 20, and it's going to ask us what vendor we want to buy these from. So this is just an example, it doesn't really matter, but this is where you'd say who you're buying these bikes from. And the quantity to purchase, if we buy, let's just say we'll buy 20, and we'll press OK. And the sales order is still open in the background, and what it's going to do is it's going to take us to a purchase order, and that purchase order is going to pull that information from that window that we were just in. So we can see here, bicycle 20, it's the vendor we've just picked, and we're just going to add our vendor invoice number in the top, and the quantity to receive, which will be 20, and then we're going to receive and invoice. We don't need to see the posted invoice, we just want to buy them in. Okay, so now we're back to our sales order, which has been open in the background the whole time, and we're going to have a look at item availability by location again. This time when we have a look at our yellow warehouse, we'll see that the inventory is 45 with a gross requirement of 20. That means we'll still have 25 left after we sell them, which is great. If we've still got 25 left in stock after the sale, then we're quite happy to sell them. So we've got 20, so the quantity ship will be 20. And we will sell these. So that's the basic principle. We don't need to see the posted document. If you are about to sell something and you realize you didn't actually have as much stock as you thought you did, you can buy some more in from within the sales order. Another new feature of NAV 2018 is the ability to suggest accounts in the general posting setup. So there's a new option in the general posting setup which suggests accounts for you based on your previous setup if you want to. So the general posting setup can be quite a long manual process to go through and add all the accounts into all the fields. But what NAV can do in 2018 is it can have a look at your previous setup, the information you've entered, and if you click suggest accounts on that line, it will automatically add accounts based on your previous setup. So it's just a way to automate it really, because it can be quite a long process. I'll just show you quickly how that works. So if we go to general posting setup, we'll see that along the bottom here we've got a lot of accounts that have been added, but along the top there's a lot of accounts missing that haven't been entered. So what we can do is we can pick a line and we can click suggest accounts, this new button here. This is new in NAV 2018, and when you click it, it's going to look at these other accounts and add accounts for you automatically. So there we go, click a line, and you click the line, it will suggest accounts for that line. So it's just a way to automate the process because, as I said, it can be quite long and manual to do. So just a way of adding them in automatically. So we're not going to have time to do a demonstration of everything that's new in NAV 2018, but just wanted to briefly cover some of the other bits of functionality that are available. So Dynamics 365 for sales integration has been improved, and the way it's set up has been improved. So synchronization runs in the background, so users can keep working, and the status can be viewed. Exciting new changes for Power BI. So there's now a Power BI fact box in the items and customers list page, which allows you to render Power BI reports for that specific item. So what I mean by that is if you've got your list of items up and you click your first item, say your bicycle, from the list, without actually opening that item, along the side it will just pop up Power BI fact box and it will show you information about that item. And if you click the next item, say a wheel or a table or whatever the next item is, without opening that fact box will then update and render new information about that item. So as you're scrolling through your list, you can just click items as you go and just see information about that without actually having to open it. So it's just a way to see more information about that item or about that customer without opening it, and having easy access to that extra information will result in better decision making because businesses will know more about their items and customers because that information is more readily available. The web client personalization has also been improved. So there's been a few improvements to the personalization, but one of the interesting ones is that columns can now be drag and dropped. So if you wanted to shuffle your columns around on previous versions, you'd have to choose columns and you'd move them up or move them down, and then that would put them into where you wanted them to be. But now in 2018 web client, you can literally just pick up a column and just put it to where you want it to be, just drag and drop. So if you want to move them around, shuffle them, it's literally as easy as that. There's also enhanced synchronization of vendors to OCR and the ability to post selected orders, invoices, and credit memos. So what that means is if you've got a list of, say, 10 orders, you can select a random 5 and press post, and you can just post selected. So it doesn't have to be 10 together. It doesn't just have to be one at a time. If you want to just pick 5, you can hold shift, select the ones that you want to post, and just post them all together. And lastly, item charges can be distributed by volume and weight. I'll just pass you back over to Adam now. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thanks for that, James. I do hope you guys found that interesting. I think it's important to take this information, take a step back and have a think about how these new tools can be applied to your specific business activities. There are a lot of ways there to save time and boost efficiency. So I hope we've given you some food for thought there. As promised, The recording of this webinar should be online over the next few days, so if there's anything that you didn't catch, you can re-watch it and share it around. Those are my contact details up on the screen, so if you have any questions or want to get in touch regarding anything that you've seen today, drop me an email or give me a call and I'll happily help you out. Like I mentioned earlier, check out our event page and keep an eye out for the MetaSpeak mailouts, as they'll have details of our upcoming webinars. As I've mentioned, we'll be covering some of the topics that we didn't get time to look at today, but there's also other sessions on best practice, reporting, Office 365 and so on, so be sure to check that out. As always, thanks a lot for joining us this morning, really do appreciate it. Keep an eye out for the next webinar and we'll see you next time.